Hey, welcome to the Crazy Angler. This is our first video. We're going to be doing a review for the new app called Trout Routes. You can download on your smartphone. It's extremely easy and accessible to use pretty much anywhere as long as you have signal and internet.
All right, here is the app, Trout Routes. So I'm starting on the basic version just so you can see what is available free of charge. So if you go into the App Store, you can go ahead and find Trout Routes just to show you what the emblem looks like. It is in the left side of the screen there. Yep, there's the Trout Routes emblem. So when you go into the app, you can go ahead, let's go ahead and zoom in on Virginia. That's where I'm located. First thing you'll see are these stores. They look like buildings, like little building icons. Those are fly fishing shops. So even at the basic level, it's extremely helpful because it shows you where you can buy extra lures if you're going fly fishing. And if you haven't noticed already, then you can also see all the blue lines are trout populated streams and rivers. This is super helpful because it just shows you the vast quantity just in Virginia and West Virginia of how many trout rivers there are out there. So this is the basic version. Again, this is free. I used this for about a week, and then I weighed the odds and went ahead and pulled the trigger on the pro version, which is a $40 annual fee. But you'll see here in a second that it is totally worth it. So I'll go ahead and switch over to the guide version. This version shows all the rivers and streams, but it shows what tier that they are. It shows the quality of the stream, of what type of fish that you could catch at that stream. So if I go ahead and click map legend at the bottom of the screen, I can see there's gold medal, there's class 1, class 2, class 3. It'll show where public land is. The public land piece of the app doesn't seem to be totally accurate, but it's doable. It shows you lots of access points. Once I zoom in, we'll look at those so you can see public parking and public land and public access points. And then also the purple shows you trails, which is also super helpful, just so you know how far to expect that you can walk, and also just kind of gives you a heads up on how much access you'll most likely have based off of how long or where the trail goes. Then also it'll show the stream gauge at the bottom right. This is super helpful because it'll show you the current condition of the river. Essentially, if it's been raining a lot, then you'll know if a stream is blown out, especially if you're not from that area. So that's another reason why this app is incredible. It's definitely the best fly fishing app I've ever used. And so what I'll go ahead and do now is show you a couple other base layers that you can use. You can use the terrain. Give it a second to load. You can also note that the base layer that you choose is pretty much based off of your own personal preference. Me personally, I prefer the road or the satellite version. We'll go ahead and switch over to satellite. Give it a second to load. And this will also just show you the satellite version. I think all the colors kind of mess with my eyes a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it to road. And then on the map mode, you can also go to access, where it will show you easement land, national park, other public land, national forest, easement section, public section, private section, and trails. So it's incredible how much details it actually shows you for each river and stream and all your outdoor areas. But I'm going to go ahead and switch back to guide. And I'm going to zoom in and we're going to look at some fly fishing streams. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is zoom in. This is an area called Waynesboro, Virginia. There is this river right here, which is a class 1 river called the South River. What's really cool about this is obviously there's a fly shop right nearby, South River Fly Shop, if I ever need any lures. Now I can go ahead and zoom in and see here, it will show you there is a campground there if you decide you want to camp. Then it also shows you the trails that go by the river. That's extremely helpful. As I said earlier, that way you can navigate the river, but it just shows you how easily you can traverse that riverside and how much land, how much area you can fish on that land. So again, you see all these other creeks and rivers, so you can see the quality of those rivers, and it can determine if you have a day off of work, it'll help you determine where you want to go fly fishing. What I want to point out about this app is that it covers 22 states. So I'll go ahead and zoom out so you can see it goes pretty far west. Shows you awesome fly fishing spots out west. So what I would like to point out is that what's really great about this app, there you can see my location in Virginia, but if you are traveling for business or whatever you do for work, then it kind of just gives you options at all these awesome trout streams that you might have not even known existed. And so, for example, in a couple months, I'll be moving to Columbia, South Carolina. So I'm going to go ahead and move in on Columbia, and bam, I didn't even know it, but there's a gold medal tiered river right there in Columbia, and I'm unfamiliar with the area, so it shows me all the public areas and trails and parking, and it kind of just takes all that out of the equation. And then one final thing I'd like to point out before I conclude this video is that when you click on an icon, you can get directions. So it'll take you right over to your maps, and then you can get directions to show you how far away that icon is. So that being said, this app is a 10 out of 10 fishing app. It is easily the best fishing app I've ever used. I'm sure that the producers or the app creators are going to continue to update this app, and I'm just really excited to start using this. I actually scroll through this at night quite a bit just to see what new areas I can fly fish if I'm ever traveling for work. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and make a comment in the section if I missed anything, and stay tuned for future videos.